Ruby Franke was a wife and mother who, along with her husband Kevin, rose to fame through their YouTube channel 8 Passengers. The channel meticulously documented the lives of their 6 children, captivating audiences with glimpses into their daily routines, family dynamics, and parenting approaches. With each upload, the Franke family attracted a larger following, amassing millions of subscribers who eagerly consumed their content. The children were charming and relatable, and Ruby and Kevin seemed like the perfect all-American parents. Their carefully curated online persona and seemingly idyllic family life resonated with viewers, propelling them to the forefront of family-oriented YouTube channels. However, beneath the veneer of perfection, cracks began to appear. Viewers, initially drawn to the channel's wholesome facade, started noticing troubling aspects of the Franke's parenting style. Disciplinary measures seemed excessively strict, often involving food deprivation and isolation. Concerns mounted as viewers observed what they perceived as emotional distress in the children's demeanor. The comment section, once a hub of adoration, transformed into a battleground of opinions, with some defending the Frankes' methods while others expressed alarm and urged intervention. The Frankes, however, remained resolute in their parenting approach, dismissing criticisms as misunderstandings or attempts to tarnish their reputation. Ruby, in particular, became increasingly defensive, often using the platform to justify their actions and denounce those who dared question their methods. The schism between the Frankes and their once adoring audience widened, with both sides entrenched in their positions. The controversy surrounding 8 Passengers intensified, casting a shadow over the channel's once impeccable image. As the controversy surrounding their parenting choices escalated, 8 Passengers abruptly ceased producing content in 2020. No explanation was given for the sudden disappearance, leaving their devoted followers bewildered and concerned. The once vibrant channel lay dormant, its legacy tarnished by the unanswered questions surrounding the family's well-being and the reasons behind their abrupt departure from the digital spotlight. Little did anyone know, a darker chapter was about to unfold, one far removed from the cheerful facade they had meticulously crafted online. In a shocking turn of events that shattered their carefully constructed image, Ruby Franke and her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt, were arrested in August 2023 on suspicion of aggravated child abuse. The arrest sent shockwaves through their former fanbase and made national headlines, as disturbing details of the alleged abuse emerged, painting a horrifying picture of the children's reality. The accusations stood in stark contrast to the wholesome image the Frankes had projected online, leaving their former followers grappling with disbelief and a chilling sense of betrayal. Central to the case against Ruby Franke were her deeply disturbing journal entries, which provided a chilling glimpse into her psyche and the warped justifications she held for her actions. The entries revealed a deeply held belief that her children were possessed by demonic forces, a belief that fueled her abusive practices. Franke documented her twisted rationale for the punishments she inflicted, believing them to be necessary acts of exorcism, desperate attempts to purge the perceived evil from her children. The journal entries, filled with chilling descriptions of the abuse and Franke's delusional justifications, became key pieces of evidence in the case against her. The abuse, as detailed in the charges and corroborated by evidence, was nothing short of horrifying. Franke was accused of depriving her children of food and water, subjecting them to painful physical punishments, and restraining them for extended periods. The children, once seen as symbols of a happy and loving family, were revealed to have endured unimaginable suffering behind closed doors. The contrast between the Frankes' online persona and the grim reality of their home life sent a collective shudder through those who had followed their story. Franke's descent into this abyss of delusion and cruelty appears to have been a gradual process, fueled by a confluence of factors. Her rigid belief system, coupled with a need for control, created fertile ground for her descent into fanaticism. The pressures of maintaining their online persona and the constant scrutiny of their audience likely exacerbated these tendencies, pushing her further into isolation and extremism. The result was a toxic environment where her misguided beliefs held sway, with devastating consequences for her children. The investigation into the abuse allegations against Ruby Franke revealed a sinister figure who played a pivotal role in the children's suffering, Jodi Hildebrandt. Hildebrandt, a self-proclaimed life coach and former therapist who had lost her license, formed a deep and disturbing bond with Franke, one that would have devastating consequences for the Franke family. Hildebrandt's influence over Franke appeared absolute, as she inserted herself into the family's life, becoming a constant presence in their home and a driving force behind the escalating abuse. Hildebrandt's methods, marketed under the guise of therapy and life coaching, were far from the evidence-based practices one would expect from a licensed professional. Instead, she espoused a dangerous cocktail of pseudoscience, spiritualism, and manipulation, preying on vulnerable individuals seeking guidance and support. Hildebrandt's teachings resonated with Franke's own anxieties and need for control, providing her with a framework to justify her abusive actions. Together, Franke and Hildebrandt established Connections, a life coaching business that served as a front for their harmful ideologies. Connections attracted a following of individuals, many of whom, like Franke, were struggling with their own personal demons. However, instead of offering genuine support and guidance, Hildebrandt used her platform to indoctrinate her followers, instilling in them a dangerous mix of self-blame, fear, and unquestioning obedience. Under Hildebrandt's sway, Franke's belief in demonic possession intensified, as did her willingness to subject her children to increasingly cruel and unusual punishments. Hildebrandt, far from discouraging these actions, actively encouraged them, viewing the children's suffering as a necessary component of their twisted ideology. The two women, bound by their shared delusions, created a toxic echo chamber where their harmful beliefs were reinforced, with tragic consequences for the Franke children. The arrest of Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt marked the beginning of a long and painful process of seeking justice for the Franke children. The case sent shockwaves through the online world, as former fans grappled with the horrifying truth behind the seemingly perfect family they had once idolized. Public outcry was swift and unrelenting, demanding accountability for the years of abuse the children had suffered. In December 2023, both Franke and Hildebrandt pleaded guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse, acknowledging the horrific nature of their crimes and accepting responsibility for the pain they inflicted. The guilty pleas, while offering a glimmer of hope for a swifter resolution, did little to assuage the anger and disgust felt by those who had followed the case. Both women were sentenced to 4 consecutive sentences of 1 to 15 years in prison, a punishment deemed by many to be woefully inadequate considering the severity of their crimes. In the aftermath of their arrest, the Franke family was left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. Kevin Franke, Ruby's husband, maintained his innocence throughout the ordeal, claiming ignorance of the abuse occurring under his own roof. While he has not been charged with any crimes, his role in the family's dysfunction remains a subject of intense scrutiny. Kevin participated in the Hulu docuseries Devil in the Family: The Fall of Ruby Franke, offering his perspective on the events and seeking to rebuild his life apart from the shadow of his wife's crimes. Ruby's eldest children, Sherry and Chad Franke, emerged as powerful voices for their younger siblings, bravely sharing their experiences of abuse and manipulation. Sherry, in particular, played a pivotal role in bringing the abuse to light, demonstrating immense courage and strength in her pursuit of justice for herself and her siblings. Their testimonies, both heartbreaking and inspiring, serve as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of abuse and the resilience of the human spirit. The Hulu docuseries Devil in the Family: The Fall of Ruby Franke provided a chilling and comprehensive account of the case, delving into the complexities of the family dynamics, the insidious influence of Jodi Hildebrandt, and the systemic failures that allowed the abuse to continue unabated for so long. The docuseries, while difficult to watch, serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the dangers of unchecked power, the allure of extremist ideologies, and the importance of vigilance in protecting the most vulnerable among us.